Yo, what's going on? On today's episode, today's guest scaled to over 50K in MRR in just the first year of business, in under a year, while he was living in Lebanon. And not only did he do that, he placed over 300 people in US companies. And now he's on a mission to inject over $50 million per month into the Lebanese economy. But what will he tell you first? Like, what went right, what went wrong, and I'm sure Kinan has a lot of amazing stories because he's the type of person that always does. Kinan, my friend, my brother, welcome to TRT.
Thank you so much for having me, Jimmy. Appreciate you.
Anytime. So, Kinan, tell us more. Like, we always hear about Remotely X, everyone in the online space, agencies, eCom brands, anything you can name off in the remotely world is talking about Remotely X. Of course, I know what's Remotely X. I know that very well, but I'd like you to introduce Remotely X to the audience.
Absolutely, bro. So Remotely X is a online recruitment agency. We specialize in hiring strictly only Lebanese talents with agencies abroad. Our target audience is agencies in the US and the EU. And we've done over 350 placements so far, and we've helped these people get jobs in Lebanon and stay in Lebanon. Our mission is to hire 10,000 people, and we want those people to stay in Lebanon with their family.
I'm sorry to ask, but does that sign behind you on the wall has anything to do with it, or is it
That sign
from?
was given. That sign was given to me by a great friend of mine, and he understood the mission that we have, and he gave me that sign. It increased my sales up to 30% on. It's because I always flex this. I'm like, that's the mission right behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what an amazing guy, Kinan. Look, the shit is about to get real. Okay, everyone hires VAs, and once you tell them like they're like you're hiring from the east, they're gonna be like, is it from the Philippines? Or not even from the east, like it can be from Southern America, from Argentina, from like all of the Southern American countries. So what makes Lebanese so special?
Absolutely, that's a great question. So usually when people think of VAs, that's not a term we use, by the way, for our talents. We say talents rather
Yeah.
than VAs. But in general, when people think of VAs, they think of the stereotypical places like the Philippines, Pakistan, like Southeast Asia, Latin America, and also like Eastern Europe, which is like mostly Ukraine. But what makes Lebanese stand out is Lebanese, they speak really good English. It's our second language here. They're very Western aligned with the culture. Because Lebanon is like a half Christian, half Muslim country. So like there's a lot of diversity in Lebanon. And this just preps us to be like the number one talent pool for the USA specifically. And just to remind people that Lebanon and Beirut specifically was Dubai before Dubai was a thing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I would like you to expand on that. Lebanon, like they've both existed for the past decades and
No,
centuries.
I mean, Dubai was it hasn't it, I mean it became a trend in the last like 15 years or so, or maybe 20 years. But before that, the hub for business in the Middle East was Beirut. You had the big four companies in Beirut. You had all the like investment in Beirut. Beirut was like the hub spot for business in the Middle East. It was the middle ground of if you want to go to the Gulf, you have to go to Lebanon first. And even the Gulf used to invest in Lebanon. That was before we were, war happened, economic crisis, a lot of things happened since then. But like before that, that was what Lebanon was, and that prepped people to become the amazing talent pool that they are today.
Exactly, exactly. And I once overheard you saying something that Lebanese people are the ones who built Dubai, in a sense.
Yeah, this is something that's very well known. Like when Dubai was first started, not just Dubai, like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all the Gulf countries,
Mm.
when they first started getting business from the Western markets, they didn't know how to speak English as good as Lebanese. They didn't know how to have a conversation with them. They didn't know how to run business with people like from Western markets. That's why they all like outsourced Lebanese. They brought them to Gulf. They were paying them extremely well, like really big salaries just to bring them in, and they can be the middleman between the Western market and the Gulf. That was the Lebanese role in Dubai. And if you go to Dubai right now, or Saudi Arabia, or all the Gulf countries, all like the big roles, like the client facing stuff, like the big business roles, are taken mostly by Lebanese, because Lebanese are the best middleman between Arabic and English and both markets.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, 100%. But Kinan, you mentioned something earlier that I asked you what makes Lebanese special. You told me mostly two things. Like, you told me that Lebanon is split between Christians and Muslims. And at the same time, you told me that they speak fluent English. But doesn't everyone else?
That's not the case. I mean, when I say they speak fluent English and they understand Western market, like they're aligned with Western culture, It's totally different. Like for example, one of our case studies, Andre Heikel Jr., he hired like 16 Lebanese from us, all for like onboarding specialists, client facing roles, client success managers. And what he said was for the first time ever, for someone who has hired over 50 people overseas, he managed to integrate his Western team with his offshore team. And the offshore team was the Lebanese. He said, like, it's a boys' locker room in there. Everyone's just having fun. They know how to have a conversation. They know how to joke with each other. When you hire someone from like the stereotypical VA places, I mean, you're hiring a VA. Even if they speak English, it's like you're talking to an AI bot. Just they speak it professionally rather than just like have a normal conversation with you, which it's a huge difference for client facing roles.
So what you're telling me is, especially for client-facing roles, it's not just about talking in English. It's about communication skills, having emotional intelligence, knowing when to throw jokes, when to be professional, making clients actually like you. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, nobody wants to talk to a bot.
Well, I've never met a Lebanese until I met you, but I'm sure you guys are amazing people. For anyone watching this, I'm Lebanese myself. This is a golden question, and I really like it. You know how everyone says, like, especially in the online world, your first 10K is kind of difficult or tough? Do you resonate with that?
I would say it's the easiest thing ever to get to 10K.
Okay, walk me through that. How do you manage to do that in Lebanon within maybe the first month? I don't know. You tell me.
Sure. The thing is, like a lot of people, they overcomplicate the process of just starting a business. At first, it's like if you don't have any case studies, don't have any social proof yet, just give out work for free until you actually have. That's the first thing you have to do, and that's what we did. We were giving out free trials. I was out of pocket paying people to go into agencies, work for like 2 weeks, and then like 90% of the time they will hire that person. So like, I
Mm.
managed to get to 10K, which would generate a lot of like good revenue for me, so I can invest more in the business just by
We
giving
got
out.
the Lebanese Alex Ramosi, guys, throwing out amazing, irresistible offers. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I never created something from scratch. I just follow what other people did. Like in this day and age, you don't have to
Damn,
innovate.
bro. We just have another Russell Brunson who's funnel hacking as well. Multiple characters.
In this day and age, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented. Just like follow the wheel, and you easily get to like 50K per month, which we did like last.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, 100%. Kinan, you've already placed like over 300 talents. Who was your first hire? Was it like your cousin?
It was my brother Jad actually. Like
Yeah, not even your
yes,
cousin.
like when I first joined Andre's coaching program, I had a marketing agency. I didn't have a recruitment agency yet. And he posted that he's looking to hire someone like a student success coach to handle 50 clients of client ascension, and they're all like super high ticket agencies who were doing 7 figures. Like he
Mhm.
needed someone super smart to handle that role, and I recommended my brother, which he hired and ended up working with him for a year and a half before both of us starting our agency together.
Shout out to Jad. He's an amazing guy. Although we're always beefing, but he's really a chill dude.
He's the best. He's an operations wizard.
Okay, now he was your first, I would assume, successful hire. Like not only he was your first, but he was also a successful hire. Tell me about the worst hire you've done.
The worst hire we've ever done is someone that once after they got the job, they went through all the interviews. They everything was in check. They got
The
they
crazy story.
they got onboarded, and on the first day, they're like, "I don't want to work with this guy. The work is too much." Like what?
No, come
Like
on,
this?
man.
You've seen the job description. You've went on technical assessments. You've done interviews. You've been vetted before. You know exactly what the job is, and you agree on the salary. It's like this is not what I want. I want to be something else. I don't want to do this role.
God damn.
And this specific role took us so long to fulfill, just because this guy wanted like a very specific niche kind of
Mm.
person. And just like to end up losing that person, having to refund the client because like we're not gonna hold them hostage because it was a very difficult role to fill. And just people do that, where it's like they don't have any like accountability to their actions.
And was it the first time you ever refunded a client?
No, that was not the first time we refunded the client. Usually, we offer refunds strictly on one role specific. Like we don't usually offer refunds. The only time we would ever do that is for creative roles, because creative roles are very subjective. You might not like the people that we send you, even though from my perspective, they're very good, like video editors, for example. But your style doesn't match that. So like it's a very creative role. That's why we don't place video editors anymore. But we used to that before, and it was such a headache for my team. It's just not worth the time.
Gotcha, gotcha. And how do you go about refunds, by the way? Because I'm sure, like, I already know how professional you guys are, but sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's just the hire. Maybe he's a bad hire. Maybe he's not a good fit. Maybe just like that other dude, like, he doesn't feel like working anymore. Like, how would you go around this if a client asks for a refund?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, we don't have like we have a guaranteed replacement. Like there's no reason for you to ask for a refund right away. We
You
once you
guys, it's a big guarantee.
once you sign the person through us, you get a 2 month guarantee to replace that person in case things don't work
Not
out
two
with you.
months.
Yes, so like you have 2 months to test try this person and give them like a probation period. And if it within 2 months you still don't know if this is like the right person for you, like that's on you. Like honestly, if you had 2 months to test out this person, if you're a good entrepreneur, if you know how to run your operations, you know within 2 weeks you'll be able to think, you know, if this person is a good fit for you or not.
Within the first 2 weeks, that's your like, gotcha. That's your time frame. Can you tell me more about your partners? Like, who's behind Remotely X? Is it just you and 17 cups of coffee and the Lord?
It's tea, not coffee, but I agree. It started just me and my brother Jad. That's how we started the agency because Jad had experience in this type of world, like the VA world. And he just like he brought his already what he knew about operations. He brought with him. I was the marketing and sales side of the business, and I'm still am. I don't do anything from the fulfillment side. But 1 month after we started doing like the free trials and we hit like 10K per month, which again was super easy just by actually doing the work. Andre reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want to do this like full time? Like I already hired a
Just for
couple of guys from
clarification purposes, who's Andre exactly?
Andre Haycup,
Y- Yeah, of course.
our
He's the founder.
client."
Like,
Yeah, so he was a client before he became an equity partner, like a full-on partner, because he was so impressed with the business, and he's Lebanese, half Lebanese as well. So it resonated with him, like this mission of like helping Lebanon get back on its feet, and that's why he offered like to work with us. I still have a screenshot of like the first time he texted me like, "Hey, can you take me in
mm,
as a partner? I would love to be part of this mission." It's like after we got on Andre, within 1 year we did like 50K per month, and then out of the blue, Eddie reaches out to us and said, "Hey, if there is equity on the table, I would
talking
love."
about Eddie Malouf, is that right?
Everybody knows Eddie. I don't have to say Eddie Malouf. It's just Eddie.
Yeah, just Eddie.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he
an
reached out
amazing
to
guy.
us and he said, like, I would love if there's equity on the table, I would love to be part of this. Because he also wanted to do something as well for Lebanon, but he doesn't have the capacity to do this on his own. Because he had a lot of other agencies that he works at. He has bad marketing with his like a massive, massive like 9 figure agency. It's like he wants someone who's on the ground already doing the work and just he would put money in and put his expertise in. And that's what happened. Ever since we got Eddie on board, I think we hit like 200K per month just like by having his name work alongside with our name.
Look, of course, I'm gonna be hosting Eddie hopefully soon enough, but I'd like to ask you this question. Like, Eddie's like, I know he's an amazing guy and everything, but he already has bad marketing. It's a massive 9 figure agency. He already invests in equity in a lot of other businesses. Why did he choose Remotely X specifically?
It aligns with his mission. He's Lebanese as well. He wants to help Lebanon get back on its feet. He loves Lebanon. Every summer he comes here for a month or two, even though he lives in America and he's very rich. Like he can live a very happy life in America, but he still chooses to come vacation in Lebanon every single year. So it means a lot to him. It means a lot to him for his parent country to be back at its glory days.
I just got news, by the way, they're planning to place Eddie as a minister of tourism or something because the
They should.
tourism sector over here in Lebanon, they thank Eddie every single day, every single year, actually, especially at the summertime because he promotes Lebanon heavily.
They should. They should.
So it's you, Eddie, and Andre,
And John,
and Judd, and Judd, four founders. That's like the dream team, man. That's like the dream team.
it's called the
And
Lebanese Avenger Team.
yeah, exactly. Which one of you guys is Hulk? I don't know if Hulk is an Avenger because I know shit about superheroes. Eddie is Hulk, and who are
Anyway,
you?
he's massive. He's massive, bro.
And who are you?
I'm nobody, bro. I'm just the guy behind the
Ah,
guy.
man.
I'm just putting in the work, bro. Putting in the reps. That's all we care about. We don't care about the brand identity. We don't care about being in front of the camera. All we care about is just like delivering work and hiring people. That's our number one goal. That's why
That's
I'm not big on social media. You always like we have this conversation, like you have
yeah,
to post more and be active on like your personal brand. I'm like, bros, the business is working. Like that's all we care about.
yeah. I'm just the boring guy getting in the reps done and keeping the company in place. I'm gonna get back to that, by the way, speaking about the spotlights and the mission and everything. But before we get into that, I think there's a lady. She's a beautiful lady. And she's like I just named you, Eddie, Jad, and Andre. But there's that hidden soldiers behind that's in the trenches, keeping everything solid. Who is she?
100%. You hit the nail on the head. So that would be Rasil. She's our chief of staff. She's been working with us, I think, from the first quarter. We hired her on a part time, and she became the pillar of this company.
She
Like
was
everything
there
goes,
from the beginning.
yes, everything goes through her. Everything has to go through Rasil before it gets to us. Like she makes sure like me and my brother Like we are at full capacity and always like full focus on things that move the needle for the business. And she's just doing everything. She handles our team, she handles the fulfillment side, she handles the clients, she handles the entire recruitment team. Everything goes through us. She's the best at what she does.
So you and her are a tag team champion, right?
I would say it's more her and Jad because they both handle the fulfillment side.
But
My
wait,
tag team, my tag team partner is Riyadh.
yeah, right. Riyadh is an amazing guy, but I mean, she's leading the fulfillment, and you're leading the sales. So
Yes,
you're the one throwing in the clients, and she's the one doing the fulfillment.
she's the one
Right?
panicking every time we send a new client. She's like, "Please stop, just please
Please
stop, give
stop.
us a break."
Well, if that's, by the way, for everyone who's watching, that's part of the problems of being an amazing fucking closer, just like Kinan. So you gotta live with it, right?
I
So
appreciate you.
going back to what we were just saying earlier, which is like being down to earth, being humble, and I like we know each other on a very personal side, and I know that you're a very humble guy. And not only do I know that you're humble because of your own morals and ethics, but I also know that you're really, really, really close to God. I want you to expand on like how did your relationship with God help you in your business, and did it help you in the first place?
Absolutely, that's a great question. What I would say is that in Islam, and this is something that is in the Quran. It says, I'm gonna say the English version of it because I'm not gonna speak Arabic here, but it says, in the heavens is your sustenance and what we promised you. So like God already promised us the money we're gonna make. He already promised us everything that's gonna happen to us in life, even though we chose the path that we want to go on. And I'm on the path that I think is the best for me. So I don't care if I lose a client. I don't care if I don't close the deal just because I know that this was not meant for me. And this helped me become a person where I'm not attached to like results rather than I'm attached on the mission. Like I enjoy the mission so much, like and the process rather than just like focus, oh, are we making 100K yet? Did we hit 400K yet? Like this is not my goal. My goal is just keep focused, stay locked in, stay consistent, and then just hope that God will send things my way. I mean, we do our effort, but it's like we do our part, and then the rest is on God. It's like when you have that mentality, you don't get worried when you don't close a deal or do it. I know I've seen a lot of people, my friends and other part like agency owners that I know, like they're so stressed when they don't hit quote this month, when they don't close a deal or two, and they hit their like a rough spot, just like feel down. They get like really depressed. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but from my side, I know that God has provided and promised me what I'm gonna get. It's like I'm not gonna be stressed about it. I'm not gonna be worried about it. I just say inshallah and that's it.
Exactly. I love that, bro. Now I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Not that I believe in them, but it's like the questions are the devil's advocate questions, you know? So let's assume you did not close that deal, okay? And you, as a faithful Muslim, you're gonna be like, it's fine, like it wasn't meant for me. Where do you draw the line? And is there a line to be drawn in the first place between this way of thinking and maybe I should just go back to the call, look at what mistakes I've did and reiterate and like just keep on optimizing my process? So where do you draw the line between them?
100. I mean, look, when I said like you have to do your part, and I'm big on that. Like you can't just sit on your ass and say, "Hey God, please send me money." Like it doesn't work like that. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the reps, you have to stay consistent at what you're doing, and always do your best. That's what our promise is to God. Like I always do my best, and then the rest is on you. So like part of doing my best is reviewing my sales calls, optimizing my process, working on lead gen. I mean, we're not just waiting for things to happen. Like we have ads running, we have partnership funnels, we have referral systems, we do like a little bit of inbound stuff. Like we do our part, and the rest is on God. That's how the relationship works.
Awesome. By the way, speaking of that, I think the first couple of times that you and I met, I was like, right now I'm on a different path, but back then I was like super caffeinated, barely sleeping, putting in the work, and just grinding and grinding and grinding. And I still am, by the way. And I barely slept like 3, 4 hours last night. But that's not the topic. You always used to say that grind culture will like mess you up. You always used to tell me that that's not the way to go. So I'd love for you to expound on that.
Bro, as soon as you said like when we first met, I already knew what the conversation was gonna be. Because look, I'm a firm believer of this. I mean, you can grind. It's that's not lifestyle. Like if there's something you're grinding on, like grinding for, like that's okay. You can do it for short term, but long term, it's not sustainable for anyone. Even if you say that you're like, I mean, you're still young. You might think that you have a lot of energy, but you're gonna burn out eventually. Everybody burns out eventually. Even if you're super optimized, just doing things that you love, you're gonna burn out. That's just how humans are made. But the thing is, like, if you have this relationship with God, where you know that if you grind, like, say, I'm doing my best. My best is not 14 hours a day. That's not what my best was made for. I mean, my best would be maybe 8 hours or 6 hours. If I know that I'm doing 100% what moves the business, then I'm good with it. Like, let's say you're doing like what can you spend time on, like doing 14 hours of work? If you're doing 14 hours of work, there's just 100% something you have that you can delegate. That's what I always say to people. Like, if you're working more than 8 hours a day, there's 100% something you're working on that's not moving the needle for the business.
We have another Dan Martel over here. Damn, man. You got a lot of
It's
characters
my
in you.
favorite book. I based everything in my life based off this book, and he's so big on like buying back your time. Because, like, part of you growing as a business owner and growing as a person is spending time with your family, spending time on your own personal life, spending time with your loved ones, your friends. That's part of growing as a person. What's the point of being an entrepreneur who's doing, maybe, let's say, 50K just to your pocket every single month in profits, if you're just working all the time? Like, where's the fun in that?
I agree. Although I used to find it as fun, and I still do sometimes, but yeah, I totally see where you're coming from. Speaking of that book, by the way, can you tell us about it? Like, tell the audience about that famous book, which is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, in like 2 sentences.
100%. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow as a person and you want to grow and scale your agency, like, or your company by a margin, like a big margin, you have to read that book. There's just no way you can grow an agency without reading that book.
Cool. So Kinan read it for like 2 months, and now he's telling you about it in 2 seconds. So just go and read it, right?
I've been reading it for the past 2 years, by the way. Like, every couple of months, like, I just
How
go
many
back and read
times?
it again.
You read it again? I've
Yeah,
never done that.
because it's so resourceful. Like, the things that you learn in that book, like, you always like, look, for example, let's say you start a new habit right now, like maybe going to the gym, for example, and you're consistent for 3-4 months. And then that month hit when you're just like back to like normal state of human beings, where it's just like, you're doing less reps, you're not pushing your limits as much. You need what motivated you in the first place to get back to the person that you were back then. Like, when you first hit the gym, and you're crushing it, you're doing the max reps, max weights. So it's like that book is that's what the book does for me. Every time I like, I want to check myself, am I falling back to like bad habits of like working on things that don't move the needle? That's why I read the book, because it's a really good book for you, like, to grow your agency and your team.
That's true. That's true, 100%. Um, there's something that I had in mind. Yeah. Kiran, let's assume someone was following you with a camera for like a week. What's the craziest thing they would notice? I know what you're gonna say.
They notice I yell at my kid a lot. I fight with him a lot, and I have a lot of sleepless nights. It's like it's generally just sleepless nights, because like every single day I wake up 3-4 times a night just because my kid is screaming and yelling. That's just how kids are. It's a gamble. You either get like a very quiet kid, or you get a very energetic kid, and thank God I have like a very energetic kid. I love him to death. Like, I've been sleepless for the past 2 years, and just like, it's for some reason I'm not mad about it. I'm just
Mm,
super happy because I wake like, during the night, I would be yelling at him. I was like, please shut up, let us sleep. And in the
yeah.
morning, it's like, yo, I love you. Come on, come here, like, give me a hug, let's play.
Please shout. Please shout.
It's a very toxic relationship. It's a love hate relationship.
Yeah, I'm sure it's love, love. Adam's an
Absolutely.
amazing kid. God bless him, bro. Are you planning to get him? Like, is he? Did you get him on sales calls or not yet? I think he's 3, right?
He's 2 years old, but no, he hasn't joined me on a sales call yet.
Why not? Maybe you can increase your closing rate.
He might, but I'm yet to test that, because he's probably gonna just break my camera. He's gonna break something because he likes to play on my computer a lot.
Yeah, he's a very inquisitive kid. He has a lot of curiosity to know more about things. And do you ever like would you want him to be involved in the online space?
Never impose my life on him. That's what I would say. Because I've been down the route where you wanted to do something and your parents didn't want you to do that because they think they know better than you. They think they want to live their life through you. Whereas for me, I'm gonna let him, choose his own path 100%. I'm gonna encourage him to do whatever he feels is the right path for him.
And it just hit me, like for real. Was it a burden on your shoulders being married with a kid and building all of that?
No, no, it's quite the opposite. It was more so like it's it's relieving that you have someone to go back to every single day. You have a wife at home and a kid who makes it so much better for you. Like, for example, I've been a little bit down for the past couple of days, just like personal stuff happening with the family. And, I walk into the office today, I find a plant, a gift for my wife. And the card says it's a verse in the Quran, but it basically says in English that after hardship is always uh, something good.
Hmm.
This is like the kind of support that you have
Well,
24/7 with you. Al-usri yusra. This is what you come to every single day. Like when you have a good wife, there's just no way you can't grow as a person. If you have a like a normal like modern day wife, which is like most of the people, but someone's very involved in social media, someone's very involved in their own personal life, and she puts herself ahead of the family, you're gonna feel a burden when you're trying to scale and you're doing anything. You're not gonna feel your home as your home. Whereas
why
for
not?
me,
Like, can't she have the social
no,
media and Instagram?
I said when they put themselves ahead of the family. For
Mm.
for me, for example, like my wife and I, our goal is Adam. Like everything we do is for Adam. We have a joint mission that we're working on, and this mission is selfless. It's not like we're gonna make more money. It's not mission is not making more money. It's not something material that you want to get. It's more just like giving the best for Adam, and that's like when you have this mission, it's like you're working together towards that. I've seen a lot of families here, and I have a lot of friends that have the normal modern day relationship, and everyone is just doing their own thing, and the kids not getting the attention. The family is not aligned the same mission. They fight a lot because they don't have the same goal and the same vision for the family. Because like if
What's
you
the
have
thing about the modern day relationships? Like, you keep on repeating that phrase.
personally, like I'm a firm believer that women should not like if a married woman should not be working. Like her goal
A
and her
married
mission,
woman should not be working.
absolutely, like she should be home with her kids because that's way more fulfilling work than just working for your boss. A lot of people, and I see this a lot of times, like women will answer for their boss rather than their husband. It sounds a lot of like it sounds super weird. Like you're late night shitting at.
Okay, let's put it this way. It sounds
I
super
mean,
home.
you lose your masculinity when this happens. Like, imagine you're sitting at home with your wife at Saturday night, you're watching a movie, she got a text from her boss telling her, you need to get on the PC right now and get this email done, for example. Whereas if you tell her, like, hey, I need you to do this thing for me, she's like, no, I'm not in the mood for it, but she'd never say that to her boss. So, like,
That's true.
who's,
That's true.
is she your wife or like what? Like, that's my
When
perspective
you
on
put it
things.
like that, man, when you put it like that, that's some real dating. It's not even dating. It's marital advice right here.
A lot
But
of
Kiran,
people
does that
think I'm
mean
misogynist, by the way, but I mean, it is what it is.
now you may be, you kind of are.
For the modern trends and the modern way of things, I might be misogynist. That says how the world is right now. It's either you're right or left. People don't seem to find like a middle ground between things. Like for example, my wife like, at home, like she chose to be this. I mean, nobody forced her to be a stay-at-home wife. She wants to stay at home, watch movies all day, play with the kid, eat whatever she wants, get whatever she wants. I'm responsible of like providing and make sure she has a very luxurious lifestyle, and I can sustain that for her. And she has that lifestyle. She just sit at home and do whatever she wants, and she can go
Exactly.
wherever she wants. It's not like she has to stay home. She goes out with with her family and her friends. They go out, do a lot of things. She goes every single day. She drives with her kid and like go to the beach and that kind of stuff.
Love that, bro. Love that. But Kinan, does that mean that once your female employees get married, are you gonna fire them?
No, of course not, bro. We had this conversation before. I'm a huge believer in work life balance. There's just no like whatever works for you. I'm gonna support you with that. All I care about is making sure the KPIs are met. Everything is going good. Like if I get the results I want from you, there's just no reason for me to just do anything about it. That's how I run my business. Nobody has a fixed schedule. It's KPIs. Can you hit your KPIs daily? That's all I care about. If you finish it within 2 hours, that's amazing. You're an amazing guy, bro. You hit the KPIs I care about. If it takes you 10 hours, that's on you. All I care about are the KPIs that we have set out for every single person in the company.
Exactly. Let's drop a masterclass right here, right now. Let's assume you're on stage, which you are because you have a platform right here and right now, and a bunch of e-commerce brand owners, agency owners, HR departments, recruiters. Everyone's listening to you, and they want a complete masterclass in like a minute or two about hiring, recruiting, systems, and scaling in general. Like, what would you tell them?
That's a great question. And I mean, it depends if you're talking about the first stage or the second stage. Like, let's say after you get the candidates and you just want to interview them, because that's the most important part. If you're not an A player, you're not going to be able to land that person because you're not just interviewing them, they're interviewing you as well. If you're just interviewing them, they're not an A player. A players are not just sitting around waiting for a job to happen. They know that what they're worth. They know how to get jobs. You just have to show up on the interviews, ask actually important questions, ask meaningful questions. Just like this interview, for example. This is you ask really good questions. A lot of people hop on calls, they ask the same old bullshit, which is like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Tell me about your experience. And then when they say like bad things about their previous experience, they hold them against them. Like how you asked him about his experience, he was truthful to you. You said what happened to him. How is that you're going to hold that against him? So like that's the thing. Like you ask actually like, things that spark conversation. Don't just ask random templates like that's been used since the 90s.
Yeah.
That's like the most
That
important
question
part.
is very famous.
Just like be an actual good interviewer so you can land the better talents. That's all I can say to people.
What about the brand? What about the brands that are not relatively big enough? How can they attract that? How can they build culture? What is culture anyway?
Culture is mostly how would like I always say this to my clients: treat your employees how you want to be treated, and that's the culture you can create. Because like if for example, I had a client, he was like he's a rock star, like he's generally like one of those like 24/7 grind mindset. He crashed out eventually, by the way, but he was like grinding for a very long time, and he imposed this culture on his team members. A lot of people they quit, they couldn't handle it, but the people that did, they were rewarded really well. But I can't hold against him. Like he was forcing his team members to work like maybe 12 hours a day, and I couldn't. I did this one person. I can't hold it against him because he does that every single day. Like that's how he wants to be treated. So like you're fair, you're 100% fair, and you're compensating them for it. Whereas you see people, they just like work. The CEO works 4 hours a day, and it's like, why aren't you guys grinding? Why aren't you working 8, 9, 10 hours every single day? That doesn't make sense. You have to be the A player you want your team to be.
And most importantly, you have to lead by example. Otherwise, how are you expecting your followers to
Nobody
be?
will respect you. They're just
You
gonna
say,
talk behind your back. You're gonna be the joke of the group chat. Honestly, like I always say this to people. Like if you're doing like think of it's just like if you want to reflect on yourself as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, imagine there is a group chat, and imagine this group chat like you can read it right now. What are your team members saying about you? What are they making fun of you?
I should look into that right now. Just like after we finish this episode, I'm gonna go right in and hack the group chat. I want to see what they're saying about me. And what do you feel like your employees would say about you?
Honestly, they would say, I mean, look, I can't judge myself. I'm not gonna be this guy like, oh, this I'm amazing. I'm the perfect guy. What I know is like my team members, they operate in a like they're super proactive. They're super smart. The people that work with us exclusively, like remotely X, they're a team of just strictly A players, not even A players, S players. There are people who like they take
As
ownership.
players, that's new.
Yes, this is like between entrepreneur like an A player. That's what I would say usually. But they 100% like even I always say they're even better than me at what they do. As I focus on like hiring people who do better than me at what I'm hiring them for. So for example, my new CMO, he's literally crushing people. Like he's generally like he's just super proactive. I just say, hey, I want this app. Like I want like that's my strategy, and he just makes things happen. So like I would say, it's like my team members will just say like, yeah, can I give us the actual ownership and at what we do, and it makes them feel more uh, happy, and it makes them feel more accountable. It gives them purpose to grind. Actually, like I don't force them to grind, but for example, my CMO works like at least like 14 hours a day. I tell him like, bro, just please stop. And he's like, I'm just happy doing this work. Like this work motivates me. I'm happy. Like there's no one micromanaging me. It's just me being creative at this.
Exactly. I really love that. And Kiran, you always like talk about A players. What about the companies that like to hire B players and train them and nurture them and nourish them until they become A players? Like, are you against that?
You can't turn a C into a B. You can't turn B into an A. A players are A players before you hire them. It's just that they're just they don't have the experience. They have the talent. Like they have the potential. You work on the potential. You give them the experience, and then they become working A players. But before that, they were A players. They just didn't have the experience required.
Love that. That's a question that I just thought about, and I'm gonna be repeating it on every single episode. But you're the first guy who's ever gonna listen to it. Although I got it from someone, I just saw it today, and it's not even part of the plan. Which is, let's assume you are in a movie right now. It's called The Kinan, okay? And you know how when you watch movies, like you as someone who's watching, you always have those sentences in mind, like don't do this, or like go there, like it's behind the door. You know those sentences in mind. So if you were in a movie, what do you feel like your audience would be saying in their minds, telling you what to do or what not to do?
I was gonna hope you gonna like ask what if I was watching my movie, what I would say, because that would, I can
Wow,
give an
that's
answer for
that's
that.
also an amazing question.
My answer would be like, there's not a single thing that I would say, don't do this, because everything that I've done through my life put me where I
Even
am
eating
today.
bacon?
Everything I've done, everything in my life has led me to the person I am today. And I don't regret any single thing about who I am today. And I'm super happy with the person I am. The hardships I've been through, the mistakes I've done, the friendships I lost, everything shaped me to the person I am. And as a Muslim, I believe that, if I keep saying to myself, like, what if I'm not going to be able to move on, I'm not going to be able to grow as a person if I'm just focused on the what ifs rather than what I'm gonna do, what's next. That's what I'm focused on. That's where I'm locked in every single day. Because any person, like if you look into psychology and like the human mind, how it works, a lot of people that are depressed, that are anxious, they're not anxious about what's gonna happen. They're anxious because something happened to them before, and they're just focusing about like, if I do this again, it's gonna have the same thing is gonna happen to me. I'm gonna be shamed. I'm gonna be disrespected, like etc. etc. But if you just let go of things and you just like stop worrying about what if I did that, you're just gonna be like you're gonna live a way more peaceful life.
That's true 100%. And you just reminded me of the book that I'm just reading, which is called The Power of Now. I don't know if you know it.
That's literally my favorite book of all time, The Power
It's
of
right
Now.
here. Yeah, yeah,
That's my
yeah.
favorite ever book, bro. That's the first book I ever read, by the way, when I was an employee, and
Oh,
it helped me become a less toxic person.
it's amazing, man. It's really amazing. It just teaches you how to live in the present moment. It's really amazing because, like,
And dissociate from the pain body, which is not a lot of people understand what the pain body is. You have to read this book. Once you like realize what the pain body is and stop associating with it, but rather than just watching it, you just live a way better life, honestly.
that's true. That's true. Kinan, any last words for the audience before we wrap this up?
If you're someone who's planning on becoming an entrepreneur and you want to scale your agency, the number one thing I always say to people is just be consistent. Show up every single day. Do what you know. Do what's already been done. Don't think about reinventing the wheel unless you want to hit like after you want to surpass 1 million per month. Because everybody who's done 1 million per month, for example, has already followed the same blueprint. Just follow that. Be consistent. Show up every single day, even when you don't see any results. Keep doing the work, and one day it's just gonna all work out.
Awesome, man. Love it. Kinan, it was truly a pleasure having you over here. And thank you, man.
Anytime, brother. Thank you for having me.
Peace.